Okay, so I will
Okay,
take
sir.
leave of you. Okay,
Okay,
thanks
sir.
a lot.
Thank you, sir. Thank
Okay.
you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Uh, in second section, Dr. Jayapal sir will
Participant,
handle
the
the section.
feedback link has been posted.
Already,
Sir, once again, sir, please. The feedback link is posted in the chat box. Please make a note of it. Participants, please make a note of the feedback link posted in the chat box.
Dr. Jayapal sir, good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning, sir. Is it audible? Audible, sir. Take the.
Audible, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Am I audible?
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, sir. Shall we start now, or
Yeah,
you're going to give some break?
Start பண்ணிடலாம், sir. Start பண்ணிடலாம். Start
Okay,
பண்ணிடலாம். நான் இப்ப பிரபுதாஸ். Yeah, பிரபுதாஸ் sir. Yeah, shall we start?
Yes, sir. We can start, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We can start. Okay, sir. So a very good morning to one and all present here again. And here we welcome you for the second session of this program. And special welcome to the guest speaker of today's session, Dr. S. Jayapal sir. On behalf of Department of Mechanical Engineering, Sairam Institute, we welcome you, sir. Hearty welcome, sir. Dr. S. Jayapal sir is the Associate Professor, Mechanical Engineering, and Government College of Engineering, Tanjavur. So he has a valuable teaching experience of around 21 years and research experience too. This area of specialization includes computer aided design, artificial intelligence, composite materials, and indoor air quality. He has published a number of papers in reputed journals, international conferences, and he has attended as well as organized many number of conferences, FDPs, and workshops. We are privileged to have you, sir. So please take over the session, sir. Sir, Jayapal sir, please take over the session, sir, please.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the nice introduction about me. In this occasion, I wish to thank Professor and the Principal of Sairam Institute of Technology, Dr. K. Palanikumar sir, and the coordinator of this program, Associate Professor Dr. G. Shanmugasundaram sir, for the opportunity given to me to share my ideas and views in this ACT sponsored 6 days virtual short training program on energy storage characteristics, surface treatment, durability, sustainability, and microstructural evaluation of smart and phase changing material and its application. It is conducted at the phase 2 of this course, continuation of phase 1 course. So the time limit also given to me. I think 1 hour time is given. So within the time, I am trying to cover the topics. Okay. So my presentation topic is, sir, the screen is clear?
Yeah, yes, sir. Clear, sir.
Okay.
Clear.
The topic of presentation today is mechanical, thermal, and dimensional stability behaviors of natural fiber particulate impregnated polymer composites. So in the polymer composites, what are the phase changes? That I am going to explain to you. Before that, I am going to give introduction about polymer composites and the properties and the character of polymer composites. First, you see the topics that I am going to cover in this today's session is polymeric material first, then introduction to fiber reinforced composites, then introduction to particulate composites, chemical treatment of fibers, composite manufacturing, mechanical and dimensional stability testing, research in polymer composites, weight loss due to temperature, endothermic and exothermic changes in polymeric materials, and phase transition. These are all the content. Let me see the overview about a polymer. A polymer is a long molecular made up of lots of small molecules called monomers. Most polymers are hydrocarbons made up of hydrogen and carbon. Each carbon bonded to 4 other atoms. That is called saturated hydrocarbon. You see that some of the example also in this slide. Polyethylene PE, carbon and hydrogen bonding, polyvinyl chloride PVC, carbon, hydrogen and chlorine, polypropylene, uh, carbon, hydrogen and methyl group. So this is the introduction about polymer. Then see the definition of the polymer. It is a large molecule or macromolecule composed of many repeated subunits. Generally, synthetic and natural polymers are available. The polymers range from familiar synthetic plastics such as polystyrene to natural biopolymers. Nowadays, natural biopolymers also used. That is one is called some example of natural biopolymers, proteins and DNA. They are consequently large molecular mass relative to small molecular compounds produces unique physical properties including toughness, viscoelasticity and a tendency to form a glasses and semi-crystalline structure rather than the crystals. The polymerization is nothing but the process of forming polymer. Here one of the important term is degree of polymerization. The ratio of the molecular weight of the polymer to molecular weight of the single monomer is called degree of polymerization. In the polymer classifications, one is thermoplastics, another one is thermosets. See the difference here. In thermoplastic, no cross-linking. In thermoset, extensive cross-linking. In the case of thermoplastic polymers, weak forces between polymer chains easily broken by heating. Polymer can be molded into new shape by the application of heat or pressure. The shape can be changed. That is in thermoplastic. But the strong covalent bond is between the polymer chain, so that cannot be easily broken. That is in the case of thermoset. Example also you have to see polyethylene, PVC, polystyrene are the examples for thermoplastics. In the case of thermoset, so many categories are there. In thermosets also a variety of categories are there. Polyester, vinyl ester, epoxy and so on. One of the great term is here is condensation polymerization. Some of the original monomers materials are condensed out during the polymerization process. The process is conducted in the presence of catalyst. Water, carbon dioxide are commonly condensed out, but other compounds can be emitted during the actually emitted. Generally, HCN and other acids. You see the chemical formula here. See the polymerization process. The catalyst is added. Water is condensed out during the polymerization. That is shown here. This is nothing but the polymerization of nylon. HCN is hydrogen cyanide. And see one more difference between the thermoplastic and thermoset in short term. Individual molecules are not chemically joined together. They are held in place by weak secondary bonds or intermolecular forces, such as van der Waals bond and hydrogen bonds in thermoplastic polymer. In a thermoset polymer, the molecules are chemically joined together by cross links, forming a rigid three-dimensional network structure. Once these crosslinks are formed during the polymerization reaction, the thermoset polymer cannot be melted by the application of heat. I think now you are getting clear idea about thermoplastic and thermoset polymers. See some of the examples of thermoplastic polymers. Nylon. In nylon also two categories are there. Nylon 6 and nylon 6,6. Nylon 6 is polycaprolactam. That is one of the familiar thermoplastic material. Polyethylene terephthalate (PET), polybutylene terephthalate, that is called PBT, polycarbonate PC, polyacetals. These are all the thermoplastic polymers are used with discontinuous fibers in injection molded articles. Then PAI, PEK, PSUL, PPS, PEI, they are generally suitable for moderately high temperature applications. Polyamide amide, polyether ether ketone, polysulfone, polyphenylene sulfide, polyether amide. Variety of thermoplastic polymers are available. In the case of thermoset polymers, main 5 categories are epoxy, polyester, vinyl ester, phenolics, polyamides, and cyanate ester. For various applications ranging from aerospace application to bulk molding compounds, these polymers are used. Aerospace and aircraft application, epoxies are used. Automotive, marine, chemical, and electrical application, polyesters are used. For making bulk molding compounds, phenolics are used. For a high temperature aerospace application, PBI and PBQ are used. Cyanate ester also having wide variety of applications. And one more category is in the polymer is natural polymers. India rubber, modified starch, polylactide, cellulose esters, tannin, polyhydroxy butyric acid, wide variety of natural polymers also there. Suppose the researcher or scientist are developing the material using natural polymers, then they are preferring this type of polymers, natural polymers. Some of the images. First one is Juliflora, one of the natural resin. Second diagram is coconut shell liquid. Sorry, cashew nut shell liquid. That means the resin extracted from cashew nut shell liquid is shown here. Next, rubber, colophonium. These are used as the natural resins. And one more applications in the polymer composite is the development of polymer nanocomposites. Polymer nanocomposites are polymer matrix composite in which the reinforcement has at least one of its dimension in the nanometer range. That means in the order of 10 power minus 9 meter. The reason for preferring the polymer nanocomposites are superior mechanical properties, superior thermal, electrical, optical, and other properties, low reinforcement volume ratio. These are all the desirable properties for the selection of polymer nanocomposites. The properties of nano reinforcement are considerably higher than the reinforcing fibers. Main reason for the selection of polymer nanocomposites for the applications of for the application engineering is the ratio of their surface area to volume is very high. That provides a greater interfacial interaction with the matrix. The interaction between the matrix and the nanoparticles are better because surface area to volume ratio is very high. The fibers can be extracted from various parts of the plants and animals. In the case of natural fibers, one category is wood fiber, another category is non-wood fiber. In the case of non-wood fiber, the fibers are extracted from various parts of the plant like leaf fibers, bast fibers, stalk fibers, seed or fruit fibers, and one more category, grass fiber also there. One of the examples see here, a coir fiber. It is extracted from fruit of the plant. Likewise, leaf fibers, sisal fiber, pineapple leaf fibers are available. So wide variety of natural fibers are available. According to our applications, how much strength is required. In that basis, we are selecting the fibers, natural fibers. Then during the fabrication of composite, the fibers orientation is very important. The fibers may be continuously aligned fibers, or discontinuous and aligned fibers, or discontinuous and randomly oriented fibers. According to the fiber orientation, the strength also varying. In the case of particulate reinforced composites, the particulates are embedded in the polymer matrix. The aggregate provides stiffness and strength, while the matrix is acting as the binder. Generally, we know that the matrix is the binding material. It holds the fiber or particulates in the proper orientation during the application of load. The load also transmitted to the reinforcement. Reinforcement is a fiber or particulates. During the application of load, the load is properly transmitted to the reinforcement with the help of matrix. Different particulates are available. In particulates, different forms also available. According to the size of the particles, we are saying that small particles, chopped fibers like that, less than 0.25 microns, they are called small particles. Some of the examples for particulates are platelets, halospheres, and bio-waste also nowadays used as the particulate materials. See that the bioparticulates, first one is rice husk particles. The particles are produced from the rice husk. Then see the red mud particulates, then coir pith, then brown shell particles. These are the particles also nowadays we are using in the polymer composites. The fabrications of composites. The fabrication of composites, this is a compression molding setup. It is nothing but 30-ton capacity ACE-make hydraulic compression molding machine. Actually, we prepared one composite using Calotropis gigantea fiber, CG fiber, and epoxy matrix for the shape of 300 mm with the thickness of 3 mm. Here, we used the mechanical stirring process so that the fibers and resin systems are properly mixed. The molding pressure of 2.6 megapascal and molding temperature of 80 degrees centigrade were set in the compression molding equipment. And we maintained atmospheric conditions also, relative humidity of 55 plus or minus 2% and room temperature of 28 plus or minus 1 degree during the composite fabrication. Here you have to note some of the other manufacturing processes familiar for the preparation of polymer matrix composite. One of the processes is called hand layer process. Fiber reinforcements are placed by hand, then wet and resin is applied over through the material. One of the simplest process, and at the starting of the study, mostly the hand layer process is preferred by the researchers and those doing the project works. And for compression molding, already you have seen, material is placed in a mold cavity, heat and pressure are maintained until the molding material has cured. That is in the compression molding. In the injection molding process, the parts are produced by injecting molten material into a mold or cavity. Generally, we are using metals, glasses, elastomers, and polymers. Then pultrusion process, it pulls the reinforcement and passes to resin path and shape preformer. Then it passed to the die and then cutoff is made for the required dimensions. In the case of filament winding, the fibers are wounded in the drum and mainly this is for making the cylindrical parts. In the case of resin transfer molding, the resin is injected under pressure into a mold cavity. So these are all the familiar processes for the manufacturing of polymer matrix composites. And one of the important thing is the chemical treatment of natural fibers. Natural fiber itself, it is a composite material because it consists of cellulose, hemicellulose, pectin, lignin, and waxes, everything. The microfibril are surrounded by the matrix elements, mainly hemicellulose and lignin. The vegetable fibers are cellulose-based fibers. Animal fibers are protein-based fibers. These two are a major classification. See the diagram. The inside portion is called lumen. It is surrounded by secondary wall, then secondary wall S3, S2, S1, then primary wall. This is the arrangement of natural fibers. Because why the chemical treatment of natural fibers are needed? The reason is, suppose we are using artificial fibers like glass fiber, boron fiber, carbon fiber, aramide fiber, or ceramic fiber. The interfacial bonding between the fiber and matrix is good. But in the case of natural fibers, the bonding is poor. The bonding is poor mainly. The main reason is the outer surface of the fiber is containing some impurities, wax, everything. These to be removed. Once this is removed, it easily adhered with the matrix material. So that we are doing so many chemical treatment of natural fibers. See the list of chemical treatments. One of the familiar chemical treatment of natural fiber is alkaline treatment or mercerization process. It is the process of subjecting a vegetable fiber to the action of a fairly concentrated aqueous solution of a strong base to produce great swelling with the resultant changes in the fine structure, dimension, morphology, and mechanical properties. The partially removed lignin wax and hemicellulose, lignin wax and hemicellulose that enhances matrix fiber interface, and it ensures good adhesion between the matrix and the natural fibers. The lignin content, wax, and hemicellulose are partially removed so that the fiber surface is easily adhered with the matrix. That gives the better properties to the prepared composite materials. See the list of other treatments: silent treatment, acylation process, acetylation process, benzoyl process, acrylation process, coupling agents, isocyanate treatment, permanganate treatment, peroxide treatment, sodium chloride treatment. In the case of silent treatment, SiH4, it reduces cellulose hydroxyl group in the fiber matrix surface. Acetylation process, it destroys the hydrogen bonding in the cellulosic hydroxyl group to make them more reactive. In the case of benzoylation process, benzoyl chloride is used. Generally, it is used for 15 minutes only for the removal of wax and impurities over the surface of the fiber. Acrylation process, acrylic acid is used. In the case of coupling agent, it is applied in the form of an aqueous solution or non-aqueous solution to promote adhesion to the resin. Isocyanate, reaction with the hydroxyl group of cellulose and lignin. Then one more process, permanganate treatment. The hydrophilic tendency of the fiber decreases. So in the way the better bonding is obtained. Sodium chloride also used and peroxide also used. In the case of peroxide, benzoyl peroxide, dicumbryl peroxide, two categories are there. So these are also used for the treatment of natural fibers. The fine structure of cellulose 1 to cellulose 3 and the production of short length crystallities that gives the surface roughness on the fibers. That means it removes lignin, wax, and oil content. Fiber is treated with, suppose, NaOH. You see the NaOH, we are getting treated fiber and remaining water content. See here, in my research studies also, I used a coir fiber with the help of NaOH, the treatment is made. This is the photographic image of semi-image of treated coir fiber in 2% NaOH concentration. The treatment is made for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, and 5 days. When the treatment, that means soaking time, the soaking time is increased. We are getting that the inside lumen and the secondary walls are removed from the fiber. So we are finding the optimum soaking time. So here I found that optimum soaking time is 72 hours in the concentration of 2% NaOH. Like that, the treatment of coir fiber in 5% NaOH concentration, and the semi images are shown here. See that while it is subjected to the alkaline treatment, the outer surface of the fiber is produced like that it is having a surface roughness, so that we are getting better interlocking with the matrix material. Some image of the treated coir fiber in 8% NaOH concentration. Now here concentration of NaOH is 8%. See the soaking time 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours, then 96 hours and 120 hours. Every day the fibers are taken and it is studied using semi images. And what are the changes on the surface of the fiber? What is happening inside the fiber, that we are observing with the help of semi images. From that we are saying that so this is the optimum soaking time and this is the optimum concentration of NaOH. This is very important because the treatment time and treatment solution concentration both are very important, because the fiber is properly treated, so that it is easily adhered with the matrix material. One more process also I want to show. During the extraction of the fiber, generally we are using a simple process. See here, this is Calotropis zygzantea fiber, CG fiber plant, that is A. We are getting stem, this stem fiber. We are using fiber retting process. Then fibers are collected. Once the fiber is collected, immediately we go to conduct the single filament test, so that the strength of the fiber is tested. Once the strength is moderate or better, then we are using that fiber in the composite application after carrying out the proper treatment, chemical treatment. This is nothing but semi images of Calotropis zygzantea fibers. If you are seeing the fibers without treatment, the surface impurities are present on the surface of the fiber. Then oil content, wax content, everything are present. The fiber irregularity also there. By the treatment of fibers only, by the chemical treatment of fibers only, these things are to be removed, and we are getting the fiber that is suitable for composite preparation. In the polymer composites, one of the important term is the evaluation of properties and the characterization of the characterization of composites. Various properties are to be tested. See here, suppose the composite is developed. Suppose if you are developing the new composite, initially you go to test the composite for getting a mechanical strength, like tensile strength, flexural strength, impact strength, shear strength, and compressive strength. The abrasive loss behavior, specific wear rate, dimensional stability, and hardness also we are evaluating in the developed material. Some of the characterization studies also generally we are doing in the composite material. X-ray photoelectron spectroscopy, secondary iron mass spectrometry, diffuse reflectance, Fourier infrared, transform infrared spectroscopy, FTIR, scaling electron microscopy, transmission electron microscopy, wide angle X-ray diffraction, differential scanning calorimetry, atomic force microscopy, and differential thermal analysis. These characterization studies are very important, so that we can state the proper applications of the composite material by evaluating the properties and doing the characterization studies. See that suppose if you are working with particulate composite, this instrument is a very useful one, particle size analyzer, because what is the size of the particle? Because the size of the particle is one of the important term. The size of the particle is one of the important term. The strength of the composite is based on the size of the particles. The size of the agri residue particles was confirmed with the help of particle size analyzer. The particles were mixed with deionized water at room temperature and subjected to size analysis using a Malvern 2000S, that is the instrument make and model. The particle sizes 10 micrometer to 60 micrometer. Whatever be the size you require, accordingly you go to analyze with the help of this particle size analyzer. That means I give the sample and get the size of the particle. The average size of the particles were recorded. And one more instrument generally used for the characterization study is X-ray fluorescence spectroscopy, XRF. Sir, am I audible?
Yes, audible, sir.
Okay, okay.
Okay, sir.
X-ray fluorescence spectroscopy, the elemental composition and elements peak of the agro residue particles were analyzed with the help of XRF, one of the instrument. Suppose the composite specimens are given. What are the composition of composites? How much percentage of magnesium, silicon, potassium, iron, titanium, calcium, molybdenum. These are the content present in the composite that we are studying with the help of X-ray fluorescence spectroscopy. X-ray diffraction. We are getting XRD patterns for particles or fibers using a equipment called that instrument is actually we used this instrument available at Alagappa University, Karaikudi. It is mainly used for the identification of the crystalline structure of the particles. Particles are measured in 2 theta angle range between 5 degree to 50 degree. The step size and the scan step time where we can set the current and the voltage also mentioned here. But we are getting the composition of the composite with the help of XRD studies. Then FTIR, the chemical bonds in the molecule was studied with the help of FTIR. Generally, the sample of 2 milligram is enough. It is crushed into the small particle and mixed thoroughly with potassium bromide. The mixtures are compressed as a small disc about 1 mm thickness, and it is exposed to the infrared spectrum. From that, we are studying the chemical bonds in a molecule using this instrument called FTIR. Then another instrument generally used for the thermal studies. Suppose we want to study the phase changes, weight loss due to temperature, then melting temperature of the material. We can use this equipment, simultaneous thermal analyzer. Mainly the 3 studies are carried out using that: thermogravimetric analysis, differential thermal analysis, and differential scanning calorimetry. The difference in heat flow rate between a sample and the inert reference as a function of temperature. The heat flows into the sample in endothermic process. The heat flows out of the sample in exothermic process. That characterizations are studied with the help of this instrument called simultaneous thermal analyzer. Scanning electron microscope and transmission electron microscope, these are also used for the characterization studies. Examination of fiber or particulates. That means generally we are doing microstructural study with the help of scanning electron microscope and nano level study with the help of transmission electron microscope. mainly to determine the failure characteristics of the specimen. Suppose the specimen is failed during the mechanical test or other test, how the specimen is failed, what is the failure mechanism, where the failure started, when the failure occurred, everything we are studying with the help of the images obtained from SEM or TEM. This is the mechanical studies about composite material. Already I stated you, we can do two types of tensile test, single fiber tensile test and composite tensile test. The single filament test is used for determining the tensile properties of the fiber. Suppose the composite is fabricated, then the properties are to be tested. Then we are conducting composite tensile test. This is the photographic image of single filament test. The fibers are extracted from the plants. Suppose we are using natural fiber, the fibers are extracted from the plants or animal. That fiber is prepared as the specimen, the length of the test specimen, and how the specimen is appearing as the filament. You have to see this. You have to refer this image. Then we are conducting the single filament test. Suppose if you want to conduct the mechanical test, that means composite tensile test, we are conducting test in the, generally first initially we are conducting the test in the resin, then we are conducting the test by prepared composite, then the properties are compared. Here the model, make and model of the machine is on, ASTM standard also there, ASTM D63808 standard. The specimens were cut to the dimension of 165 mm into 25 mm into 3 mm, and it is fixed between the fixed jaw and the movable jaw. Then we are fixing the relative humidity and temperature. We are maintaining the temperature and relative humidity, and 5 samples are tested. Then the average value of tensile strength is reported. During the tensile test, what are the different failure modes we are getting? We are getting shattered one, failure with splits, clean cut, edge delamination, or sometime failure near tab end also. At the gripping end itself, the failure may happen. That is unacceptable one. Generally, the clean cut, failure with the splits are acceptable one. That is the common one. In the case of flexural testing, the preferable testing is a 3-point bending test. The 3-point flexural test was conducted according to the ASTM standard ASTM D79007. The size of the specimen is 125 mm length, 12.5 mm width, and 3 mm thickness. Generally, for statistical studies, we are conducting a test in the 5 sample and we are reporting the average values. The composite specimen was supported as the simply supported beam, and the load is applied at the middle of the specimen. The loading rate also we are varying. Normally we are preferring 5 mm per minute. And this is the photographic image of experimental setup 3-point bending. The displacement during the test can be measured with the help of extensometer also. Impact strength also another one. It is a dynamic test conducted on a selected specimen, usually notched. In the case of soft material, we are using unnotched material also. The specimen is struck and broken by a single blow in a specifically designed machine. You know that 2 types of tests are familiar in impact test, IZARD and CHORPY. Size of the specimen, you see that 55 mm length, 10 mm, 10 into 10 mm also used in most of the cases. According to the position of specimen, we are at horizontal position, it is called CHORPY test, and vertical position, it is called IZARD test. This is the setup procedure. The standard for impact test is ASTM D25607. This is the photographic image of Tynnis Olsen impact tester, impact 104 model. The specimen dimension is 62.5 mm length, 12.5 mm width and 3 mm thickness. It is supported as a vertical cantilever beam and broken by a single swing of the pendulum. When the pendulum strikes the face of the sample, where the energy is observed, that we are recording. As per procedure, 5 samples were tested for each condition, and the mean value of observed energy is recorded. Hardness test also generally carried out in the polymeric materials. Vickers hardness testing is the preferable one. The ball diameter of 2.5 mm and load of 10 kg of, and the hardness is measured more than 5 locations on each sample surface, and the average reading of the 3 samples are reported. The dimension of the hardness test equipment is hardness specimen is 76.2 into 76.2 into 3 mm. ASTM E10 standard. Dynamic mechanical analysis is another test that is usually carried out in the polymeric material. It is employed to characterize the dependence of the elastic modulus, loss modulus. For determining the elastic modulus and loss modulus value, this test is carried out. It is also usually done with like a 3-point bending mode, 40 into 10 into 3 mm dimension. Frequency and strain value also maintained. The temperature of the specimen is increased from room temperature to 200 degrees centigrade at a heating rate of 2 degrees centigrade per minute under a nitrogen atmosphere. This is a dynamic mechanical analysis. What we discussed earlier is a static mechanical analysis. One of the important characteristics that are to be studied in the polymeric material is dimensional stability studies, because after the development of the material is manufactured as the product. That product is used in the various atmospheric conditions. So when it is exposed to the water or oil or acid conditions, environments, what will be the effect we are getting? That is studied under the category called dimensional stability studies. The water absorption properties of the hybrid particle reinforced coir polyester composites were determined according to the ASTM 570 standard, and the specimen size is 75 into 25 into 3 mm. And the specimens were taken and dried in the oven for 24 hours at a temperature of 60 degrees centigrade and submerged in the distilled water at room temperature for about 24 hours. The weight difference is calculated, and water absorption of characteristics of the material is reported. The oil absorption also conducted according to the ASTM D5229. Here also we are using a different type of oils. See here, the side edges are then sealed to prevent moisture absorption through the edges. Generally, the vegetable oil, engine oil, these are all the oils used for conducting the test. The chemical stability studies of the coir polyester composite or any polymeric materials also determined as per ASTM D543, and the specimen size is 10 into 5 into 3. By dipping the specimen in the hydrochloric acid, that is generally used for chemical stability studies for the period of 24 hours. In all the cases, the weight loss or gain is the formula final weight minus original weight divided by original weight. The weight difference is calculated and stated as the dimensional stability behaviors of the polymeric composite. And in my research studies also, we found that water absorption rate, oil absorption rate, and chemical absorption rate for different types of composite material, fiber composites, particulate composite, particulate and fiber reinforced composites. In all the categories we have observed, all the values are within 5% only. Actually, the water absorption rate is more compared with the oil and chemical absorption rate. So this is about various studies on the polymeric composite materials. And one of the important one is while the test is carried out on the material, the specimen is taken and it is studied for analyzing the fracture mechanism, how it is failed. Suppose the tensile test is conducted, after the tensile test, the specimens are taken and it is observed as the SEM images. From that, we are studying whether the strong bonding between the matrix or fiber, whether the crack is started at the matrix, whether the fiber is broken or the fiber is collected at one location, the breakage of matrix is even or not, where the matrix cracking is started. So this study is very important because by this study only, what are the developments to be done, how to improve the interaction between the fiber and the matrix or particulate and the matrix that we are studying. These are all the characteristics are studied using SEM images, laceration of matrix, the tributary pattern at matrix failure region. In some region, the matrix is harder due to the presence of the particles. In some locations, the matrix is properly binding with the fiber, so that sticking of matrix over the fiber surface also obtained. In some location, we can observe poor interfacial bonding also. The crack propagation also we are observing. See some more images. Crack failure region, distribution of particle. Suppose the particles are distributed in the composite, whether the particles are properly distributed. That means the particles are fully distributed on the entire matrix system. So everything we are studying with the help of SEM images. See here some of the tensile testing the specimen SEM images. The adhesion between the fiber and the matrix, the fiber pull out from the matrix, the bending of fibers, breaking of fibers, cracking of fibers. So everything we are observing with the help of SEM images. And whether the bonding is strong, whether the better bonding between the fiber and matrix, how the fiber is pulled from the matrix, whether the delamination is there, whether river pattern is there, matrix debris is there. Everything we are studying with the help of SEM images. Actually, if you are seeing that here are recent publications also. Recently, because most of the researchers are working in the polymeric matrix composite, and we are getting a good response from the journal side also. Recently, we published one article, study on influence of fiber length and fiber weight proportion in mechanical behaviors of Calotropy gigantea fiber epoxy composite, CG fiber epoxy composite. By varying the fiber length and fiber weight proportion, what are the effects we obtained in the mechanical behaviors, that we studied and published in the journal of that is a polymer composite journal. And if you are referring the recent publication, most of the works also going on in polymeric material also. Peanut oil cake derived cellulose fiber. One researcher done this study recently. Extraction application of mechanical and thermal properties of pineapple flax natural fiber composite. The thermal conductive and thermal resistance studies on natural fiber composites using banana fiber, pineapple fiber, jute fiber. Improvement of toughness in lignin or natural fiber composites with the help of other oils. So these type of studies are going on in polymeric materials. See that other studies also, that mean mechanical, morphological and thermogravimetry analysis of natural fiber composites. We are doing the mechanical properties. After that, the thermal studies, tribological studies and other studies also carried out on the polymeric material. And side by side, we are doing the characterization studies also. Why I am showing this means the polymer, somebody is saying that polymer composites, what are the other possibilities? So many researchers are doing research, but is there any possibilities for further doing the activities or research in the polymeric composites? But recently, the developments are there, and most of us are also working in that area. And based on this concept, I formulated a procedure in the polymeric composites. This is not only for polymeric composite. If anybody wants to start the research, or if anybody wants to guide the research properly, this procedure will be very useful. So see that first what we are doing in the case of any research activity, first is selection of engineering problem, selection of the problem. In polymeric material also what we are doing, first we are selecting the problem, development of new material. So these are all the fibers, these are all the particulates, and these are all the matrix. With the help of these fiber or particulates and the matrix, the composites are manufactured. So that design we are doing, that is nothing but selection of the problem. That is the step one. Because this procedure I adopted in my research studies. Second one is the input parameter and output parameters. Selection of input parameter and output parameter. Suppose we want to publish a research article, we have to fabricate the composite. Input parameters and output parameters properly. The input parameters, already shown my publication also. The input parameter is a fiber length, weight content, calculate content, soaking time of fibers, and solution concentration of alkaline solution. Like that, we are selecting so many input parameter. The output responses may be tensile strength, flexural strength, impact strength, shear strength, compressive strength, water absorption, dimensional behaviors, everything. So that we go to finalize. Next, we are planning the fabricated. The general formula is a number of experiments equal to number of levels power number of parameters. You know that most of the participants studied the topic design of experiment. So how many experiments we have to plan, either using full factorial design or fractional factorial design. The number of experiments to be planned here. After the planning of experiment, we are conducting the experiment. After the conduction of the experiment, that means here initially we decided these are all the material for the fabrication of composite. According to the plan, we fabricated the composite material. From the composite material, the specimens are cut and different properties are tested. So up to that, up to step 4, these all the activities are done. Next, what we go to do? We go to do the statistical analysis of experimental results. Suppose I am having tensile strength values of 27 or 81. From the observed minimum value, arithmetic mean, range, standard deviation, variance, coefficient of correlation, R squared, then coefficient of determination, then other terms also like analysis of covariance, ANCOVA, analysis of variance, ANOVA, auto-regressive integrated moving average, ARIMA. Like that, so many statistical analysis we are doing with the help of observed data. Next, the study of individual and interaction effect of the variable is very important. Suppose I am using two variables in my study, fiber length and fiber weight content. By increasing the fiber length, that means it is possible to introduce the different polymer composite. By increasing the fiber length or increasing the fiber weight content, what will be the effect on the mechanical properties that we are observing. Only one parameter is increased, what will be the effect? Both parameters are increased or decreased, what will be the effect? That type of studies we are doing. So from this study only we finalize that these are all the optimum parameter, these are all the significant parameter that we selected. Next, parametrical statistical test also we are doing in any studies. Like we are conducting different types of tests also. Variety of tests are available, like F test. That means a parametrical statistical test of the equality of the means of two or more sample. It compares the means and the variances between and within the group over time. This is the F test result I am showing. Two parameters I am showing here, FL and PC. FL is fiber length, PC is particulate content. If FL is there, what will be the F value? And PC is the PC and combination of two variable FL and PC, second order effect of the variable, because if the equation is formulated, the individual terms are significantly contributing. What are the contribution of individual terms? That we are studying with the help of parametric statistical test. Next step in the polymer research is we go to study the various characteristics using statistical plots. Almost everybody knows the bar chart and the line graph. Apart from bar chart and line graph, other plots are also available. With the help of these plots, we can do so many studies: interaction plot, surface plot, contour plot, trend plot, probability plot, Box-Cox plot, residual plot. Variety of plots are there. With the help of these plots, we can study how the parameters are varying. According to the variation of parameters, how the strength are affected. When we are getting maximum strength, when we are getting the minimum strength, whether the parameters are significantly affecting the characteristics, everything we are studying with the help of statistical plots. Then the prediction model also developed. See here, suppose I am using two variable three variable, fiber length is one variable, fiber weight content is another variable, and additive weight content is another variable. We are developing the prediction model. And, all the observed data are all displayed. We are developing curve that passes through all the points. The curve equation also developed, that is called prediction model. If you see here, this is the quadratic model because order of polynomial is 2. Order of polynomial is 3, that is cubic model. The higher order models are quadratic model, cubic model, quadratic model, quintic model, like that. Then not only the regression model, other models also available. Neural network techniques also available for getting the for developing the prediction model. Because suppose I was selected 3 parameters: fiber length, fiber weight content, and additive content as the input parameter. For these input parameter, these are all the output characteristics. Already we got this data by experimentation. Using the experimental data, the prediction model is developed. Once the prediction model is developed, we are giving the unknown input parameter. Accordingly, we are getting the output characteristics. So for that purpose, the prediction models are used. Finite element simulation also we are using for the prediction purpose also. Various softwares are available: ANSYS, Alcar, Abacus, Adina, Cosmos, Naston, Lisa, everything. We can do prediction characteristics in a tensile test specimen, flexural test specimen, or impact test specimen. And validation experiment, as we do regression model or so which model is the best one? Which model gives the values nearer to the experimental value? That we are doing with the help of validation of experimental data, one of the important step. And one more direction in the any research studies are research or project studies are optimization of behaviors, finding the best value. Various techniques are available under the different categories: mathematical programming techniques, stochastic process techniques, statistical methods also available. With the help of these techniques, we are finding better value of behavior. Optimization is the process of finding the condition that gives a maximum or minimum value of the function. Suppose we are having the two more objectives, two objective or more than two objectives. We can do multi-objective optimization. Various methods listed here: utility function method, inverted utility function method, global criterion method, bounded objective function method, lexicographic method, and goal programming method. By compromising different objective, what will be the input parameters that we are finding with the help of multi-objective optimization. And after getting the optimum value, then we are conducting conformation testing whether the observed value is closer to the experimental value or not. That means we are getting one optimum value and the corresponding condition. In that condition, again we are fabricating the composite and we are conducting the test. Now we are getting the experimental value. That value is compared and we are saying the percentage of error. The percentage of error is minimum. We are saying that this optimization procedure is a well suitable one for our studies. And one more step in the research studies are intuitive search for better results. That is called post optimization. After getting the optimum result, optimum value within the feasible region, then we are searching for the new solution for getting the better results by varying the input parameters. Three parameters or two parameters you are having. You vary the input parameter within the feasible region and find the new solution, because there is a possibility of finding the better optimization values. That is called intuitive search for better results. And finally, we are stating the optimum condition for getting the better value of output variable 1, maybe tensile strength, output variable 2 maybe flexural strength, output variable 3 maybe impact strength. For getting better value of individual output variable, what are the conditions? For getting the better value of two or more variables, output variable, what are the conditions that we are finalizing? So these are the procedures generally carried out in any research studies. Not only this is not only for polymer studies. If you are doing type of research studies, if you are following this procedure, you can conclude your work properly. You complete your work very quickly. That's why I'm showing that. And one more topic I want to show within the available time, thermal analysis. The thermal analysis is also one of the important study in the characterization of polymeric composite. A collection of techniques that measures the property of the material as a function of time. Various techniques are available. Gravimetric analysis, differential scanning calorimetry, thermal mechanical analysis, and dynamic mechanical analysis. So different studies are available: TGA, DSC, TMA, DMA, like that. First one is a thermogravimetric analysis. That is called the rate of weight change versus temperature or time in the controlled atmosphere. It is used to determine composition and thermal stability up to 1500 degrees centigrade, depending upon the instrument range. It characterizes the material that exhibit weight loss or gain due to the decomposition, volatilization, oxidation, or dehydration. So substances are broken into simple matters by volatilization process or oxidation process or dehydration process. So during the process, how the weight of the material is changed, that we are studying. That is a weight loss due to temperature. That study is called a thermogravimetric analysis, one of the thermal study in the polymeric material. After the vaporization of the sample, what will be the weight? After the addition of oxygen to the compound with the loss of electron or chemical reaction between the two compounds, how the weight is reduced, that we are studying. Next study is DSC, the difference in heat flow rate between a sample and the unit reference as a function of time and temperature. the endothermic and exothermic transition as a function of temperature is studied with the help of DSC. We know that endothermic heat is endothermic heat flows into the sample and the exothermic heat flows out of the sample. This is a DSC transition. Generally, the phase changes in the polymeric material. Initially, it is going to the glass transition stage, then crystallization, then masking, and finally oxidation or decomposition. One of the equipment already I have shown in the characterization of polymeric composite, simultaneous thermal analyzer. This is a photographic image of simultaneous thermal analyzer, STA 6000 model. One more model also available, STA 8000. With the help of 8000, we can do a study up to 1500 degrees centigrade. But with the help of STA 6000, the range is 20 degrees centigrade to 1000 degrees centigrade. It is having built-in thermogravimetry and a differential thermal analyzer mode, the simultaneous scanning facility. So we can do DAC study, TGA study, or STA study. The amount of energy absorbed or released by the sample as it is heated. The differential scanning calorimetry study. The change in weight of the sample as it is heated. Thermogravimetry study. These type of studies we are doing with the help of this instrument. Here in studies also, I have used polyester matrix and various fibers and catalyst accelerator and particles also used. The MEKP is one of the familiar catalyst because it is used for the polyester composite. Accelerators are used in most products like amines like that, cobalt, calcium, copper, and potassium salts. The rate of polymerization is too slow for practical purposes. The catalyst and accelerator are used to achieve the polymerization of the resin within a practical time period. An accelerator is added to the catalyzed resin to enable the reaction to proceed at a workshop temperature or a greater rate. So we can manufacture the composite at a room temperature itself by this process. So after the fabrication of composite, the specimens are taken. The specimen is placed pan of the simultaneous thermal analyzer instrument, and we are observing the weight loss due to temperature. The temperature is increased up to 900 degrees centigrade. What is the percentage of weight loss? The weight loss, we know the reason of weight loss. That is the process of dehydration, oxidation, or volatilization. How the weight losses are happening, that we are studying. This is a TGA curve. And we are using the different particulates also in the composite material. From that also we are studying the phase changes, phase transition, and a change of state, as well as oxidative and thermal stability. And the melting temperature of the material also we are observing with the help of this differential scanning calorimetry study. See here different materials, boiled XL, different particulates used in polymer composite, boiled XL, groundnut shell, rice husk particle, red mud particle, and thermal soil particle. For different particles, the temperature, melting temperature value is different. And we are getting both graphs simultaneously, weight loss due to temperature, endothermic and exothermic peak with the help of simultaneous thermal analyzer. From that we are studying where we are getting the peak value, where the different processes are occurring, and what will be the final stage or final temperature for the composite material. Everything we are studying. With the help of natural fiber or natural particulates, we manufactured so many products also in our research studies, like table tennis racket, art galleries, clock, mud flap, and switchboard, everything. So that is shown here. See the various products we made using natural fiber or artificial fiber polymer composites. So this is a coir vinyl composite part, and this one is a platform side cover, a product of coir vinyl composite. So there is a scope for doing research in the polymer composite, not only by evaluating the mechanical properties and for doing the characterization studies. We can add thermal studies also, phase transition, temperature changes, weight loss due to temperature, endothermic and exothermic peak, melting point of the material. Everything we are observing with the help of thermal studies, and also we can able to publish so many articles. See here, these are the research guidance I have done in the polymer composites. From the year 2011 to 2018, nearly 7 students completed their research program in polymer matrix composites. Myself, I done in Coir polyester composite in 2011, and my first student completed research in Darbe polyester, Christmas palm polyester composites in 2015, and second student 2016. He concentrated on mechanical and machinability behaviors of natural calcium particles impregnated Coir polyester composite, then Zia polyester composites, then Coir vinyl ester composites. Then some research students used agro residues filled epoxy composite. So these are all the research guidance in polymer composites. And in my account, nearly I published 93 research articles, mainly the publication in polymer composite in various national and international journals, Springer, elsewhere, Taylor and Francis, and so many referred publishers. More than 4 papers in International Journal of Advanced Manufacturing Technology, IJAMT. And this list I am showing because somebody is interested in polymer composite. You prefer this type of journals for submitting your research article, and you will get good response from the journal side also for publishing your research articles. So with this, I want to stop my presentation. If you are having any queries, now you can ask. Sir, Sanmugh Sundaram, sir.
Hello. Okay,
Okay,
sir.
sir.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, sir.
If
Yeah,
any
I
queries
request.
from
Yeah,
participants, okay.
yeah.
Okay.
I request participants if you are having any specific doubt, kindly interact with our guest, Dr. Jaybal, sir.
Hello,
Tell me, sir.
this is Dr. Raj Kumar.
Yeah, Rajkumar, sir. Introduce yourself
Okay,
and
sir.
then ask, sir.
I am Dr. Raj Kumar, working as Associate Professor in Manufacturing Engineering, Annamalai University.
Okay,
Okay, sir.
sir.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir. Very good morning, sir.
So I want to ask a few questions regarding the design of experiments and Taguchi design.
Okay, sir.
So have you said that you have said that for experimental design you have to use for the design of experiment concept, right?
Yes, sir.
So I want to ask that which one is better? So whether Taguchi experiment design is better, or maybe we can go for the response surface methodology or box Behavior design. Many designs are there.
Okay, okay.
D-optimal
Yes,
designs
sir.
also is there.
Okay, D-optimal, box Benken, Taguchi, different designs are
What is the
available.
limitations
First,
over the Taguchi design as well as the full factorial design?
yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is based on the number of parameters and level in each parameter, sir. And within the
Okay.
time duration, within the available time, how many experiments you are planning? That is very important. Suppose you are selected only 3 variables and 3 levels in each variable, you are getting the combination of 27. Suppose the combination is 27, you can go for a full factorial design, no problem. Why
Okay.
the Taguchi design and other designs, D-optimal design, central composite design, box designs are suggested by the researcher means, with the help of this design, we are conducting minimum number of experiments.
Okay.
The minimum number of experiment we are conducting, from that we are getting the result. That result is almost equal to the result what we are obtaining using full factorial design. That's why they are suggesting so many fractional factorial design. According to your limitation, you have to select, sir. That is no limit for the selection. Suppose the number of experiment is minimum, better you go for a full factorial design. You have to conduct all the experiments.
Okay.
That means if you study if you
And,
study the full fractional factorial design, if you take in the cube and so many points are there, face center, body center, like that they are arrived the so many combinations are. In some cases, some combinations are missing. If you study well, you will understand that. So according to the limitation of time, money, and the project, mainly the main factor is project duration or research duration. During that time, what are the possibilities? Accordingly, you have to plan.
so I think in my view, Taguchi, we are not getting the regression equation.
Sir, how we are formulating the regression equation? Initially, you are actually you are having so many data. By passing all the data, a curve is generated, and you are developing the equation for that curve. Equation
Yes.
for that curve. You are deciding that this is the quadratic curve or cubic curve or quadratic curve or quintic curve. You are formulating one. You are writing the general equation, and you are substituting all the values. Then the simultaneous equations are formed. Then you are solving all the simultaneous equation, and you are getting the coefficient, and finally you are formulating the equation. But suppose 27 equations are there, 3 variable or 5 variables are there, it is difficult to calculate the parameters manually. So we are using the software, statistical software. But with the help of Taguchi design, with the help of response surface design, we can able to formulate the equations.
Okay.
But how the equation is accurate, what is the accuracy of the equation, that is very important.
Mhm.
You can use so
And
many statistical packages available, Minitab, Design Expert, statistical packages for social sciences, variety of statistical packages are available nowadays.
so we are using frequently Design Expert software.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. And
But it is possible to formulate the equation, sir.
I
You
think
formulate the
it's
equation in terms of actual factors, not in terms of coded factors.
see, I think it's very difficult to formulate the equation in the Taguchi design. So we are not getting the second order polynomial equation. So you
It
will
is
get it in
possible.
the RSM,
Yes, sir.
even though you can get it in the full factor design also. But in this case of the Taguchi design, that is a limitation for the Taguchi design. We are not getting
Yes,
the
sir.
mathematical equation.
Because in the Taguchi design and the number of experiment is minimum, sir. Suppose the full factorial design 27 experiments are there. It is equivalent to 9 experiments in Taguchi design. Am I correct?
Yes, yes.
That's why the problem is there. But you increase the parameter and increase the levels and conduct so many experiments, then formulate a better prediction model, sir.
Okay, okay. So, and one more thing, if you have, so recently I received one paper, review paper in one reputed journal from Elsevier. So that paper, they are mentioned that ANFIS.
Okay.
So, and you are also describing the ANFIS model. So, what is that? I don't know exactly.
Finite element simulation of.
No,
So that is, sir, a
ANFIS.
finite
ANFIS.
element is. Yes, sir.
It's
Yes,
not in
sir.
finite
Actually,
element analysis. ANFIS.
ANFIS, adaptive neurophysics interference
Yeah,
system.
neuropathy. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Actually, I have shown the regression model, one of the prediction model. Like that, a variety of models are there. In the neural network techniques, generally 3 categories, One is
Okay.
artificial neural network, fuzzy logic, and neuropathy. In the case of adaptive neuropathy system also, we are developing one prediction model, and the
I think it
unknown
is similar in
characteristics
the neural network, right?
are same,
I think
similar, sir, but the procedure is different.
Okay.
In
it's
the 3
separate
categories,
code.
different procedures are there.
They have to write for separate code, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Actually,
okay.
first you go to see that, sir, whether they used the codes or they used the graphical user interface.
Okay.
Because two system also available, Mamtani and Sujino, in MATLAB
Okay.
software for under
Yeah,
the
yeah.
graphical user interface category.
Mm.
Maybe they have done, they go used that facility also for the development of ANFIS model.
Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you. If there any doubt na, regarding this piece, I will contact you in person.
Okay, okay, sir.
So because my colleagues are there in our department,
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
Dr. Subravil and Nachiappan.
Subravil sir, Nachiappan sir, Velappan sir,
Right,
Ambidurai
right.
sir. Yeah,
Okay, okay. I will contact you.
yes,
Okay.
sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Rajkumar sir. Thank you, Ajaypal sir. Thank you for your wonderful interaction. Um, once again, thank Dr. S. Jayapal sir came over here and raised this function that is our AACP program. Thank you, Jayapal sir, for your continuous support and guidance towards our excellence in the FTP program, this kind of AACP FTP program for the starting onwards. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shanu Sundaram sir, and principal and management of uh, your institution for giving this opportunity to share my research experience and ideas with the faculty members of a reputed institution through this program. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. The participants kindly wait for feedback. I think feedback is not yet ready. It may be posted in post slide section. Section 2 and section 3 feedback will be combined and it will be posted in the post slide section. Thank you for all the participants. We will meet 3 o'clock today for the third section. Thank you very much. Thank you.